So this is hey, sorry, we're a little bit late. We're only like 17 minutes late. But I don't have the normal production manager, Coach Jamie Lee, in here to operate all of this roadcaster stuff. So it's me and Tim together, which is a dangerous combination in and of itself. But this is Tim Dymmel, the Masters athlete, 50 to 54. He did the semifinals. And he commented to me, he goes, dude, I'm looking at all these guys' videos, and I think I need to be more jacked and have a beard. So ChatGPT took care of that.
There needs to be more pep. There needs some more salt in that beard.
That was one try, too. My prompts are getting better, but that was one try, and I laughed for about 5 minutes before I even sent it to you.
It's so good. It's so good. Hang on, we got to get started correctly.
Oh, you say.
Oh, yeah, the monster days back when CrossFit was CrossFit.
Perfect. Well, good. Well, hopefully the technology is working. I don't even know if it is or not. I should probably look on my phone and see so we don't talk for 45 minutes without going. But
well, as long as you keep a copy of it, then it's really just what we want to talk about, anyways.
Well, kind of. What's really cool is, all right. So I can hear hold on one second. It's working.
Hang on, we gotta get started.
Oh yeah, it's working, dude. Excellent. So we're good. Sorry, everybody. You can fast forward through this part. So Tim, where'd you end up in your age group so far?
So I liked how you said "so far" because that is the key. That is the operable word. Okay. The last I checked, it was 18.
18.
And yes.
And the videos stay up until today for video review, and they come down today.
I thought it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe it was supposed to be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was yesterday. Yvonne was telling me what it was, and then they're gonna start probably reviewing them themselves and assessing all the penalties that they're gonna assess or not assess. And
yeah,
and it was. There are certainly I've seen some of the videos, of course, hitting social media, Hiller posting and other people posting some of the stuff that's shown up, and that makes that's what makes the quarterfinals and semifinals so difficult, especially when there's video review. That content then gets out there, but within the context of hosting these at an affiliate with coaches that the athletes know and the coaches that want their athletes to do well and succeed, and they have this relationship where they want to create a good experience for the athlete, and it's hard to be hard on your own members, and I think we're seeing some of that.
Speak for yourself.
Well, here we go. If you want to, basically what Tim just said is, if you want to be, brutally judged and have a miserable class experience, join CrossFit Palo Alto.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I just sold the last spot on Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, really? No, is that
we're sold out? We're sold out.
And for
Tuesday,
those of you who don't
know, no spots.
That is what that I wanted to talk to you about, and have you talk a little bit about to our community, but then others as well that might be watching. Tim takes an OG approach to his affiliate, and it's actually, to me, I think a fantastic model for new affiliate owners. He has smaller space than Diablo, and limited class space. And he essentially has a list of available spots. When you sign up for a class at CrossFit Palo Alto, that is your class time. So if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m., you're coming Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. And so what Tim knows as an owner is, here's how many spaces I have available for my gym. And then he works towards filling those spaces. And let me ask you, is it Tuesday, Thursday? Can they only come on Tuesday and Thursday, or is it a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday thing?
Saturday would be the third day. So Tuesday, Thursday. If you said, "Hey, I want to do CrossFit 2 days a week," then you'll join Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same
Right.
time each day. So we have 8 classes per day. So 8 classes on Tuesday and Thursday are full. No room for more people. Sorry.
Okay.
No, of course. I mean, but we'll work to try to, find something on
So
maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But Saturday is the third day. The
for
folks that
Tuesday.
come on Saturday, they already come on Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
So that's their
All right.
third day. And then
And
the most common
what do,
three
what do
days
you
a
do with
week
the
is Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
what do you do with the Tuesday, Thursday afternoon people? Are they coming Saturday afternoon, or are you squeezing them in the
Oh,
morning?
most people only want to do, well, most people on Tuesday, Thursday only want to do 2 days a week.
Yeah.
They're busy, they've got other sports, they've got kids, they've got commitments, they've got whatever. And so they know through the fitness zeitgeist of media writ large, not necessarily like CrossFit, but just in general of saying like, hey, you need for longevity, health, wellness, whatever, you need 2 days a week of strength training. And so I think to me, that's been my impression of like that combined with post COVID kind of work schedules, the way things have worked out. There's not as much in the evenings, especially Friday, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening. It's
Yeah.
just not as many people. I think you've talked about that. We've talked about that. Maybe it's not on here, but I know we've said like there's just not enough as many people coming like late on a Friday night.
That's
So,
right.
so we only have like 5 and 6 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings. But we go 5, 6, and 7 p.m. on Tuesday, Thursday evenings. And so then I think that plus like work schedules, because a lot of people, they work from home and they work remote on Friday, or they get off early or something like that. So like when they're going to the office, they're out and about Tuesday, Thursday, and that's when it fits to go to the gym. And I could be totally wrong. It could be something totally different, but that's what I've noticed.
When you offer those memberships, you sell those memberships, and people ask, hey, how much does it cost, and what's their class schedule like? Do you immediately spell that out to them? Well, here's our class schedule. However, you can only here's where I have availability. I only have availability on these days at these times. I mean, it seems to me it's almost like selling private coaching.
Yeah, I mean, you are. I mean, and so we tell them like when they come in for an introduction, we tell them like, hey, this is how it operates. Like we give them kind of like the big idea of like this is what CrossFit is, what it isn't, how we do it, because it's different everywhere. We relate it to coffee, is what I like to use. You could have, do you like Starbucks or do you like Pete's? Do you like espresso? Do you like drip? Do you like a blend? Do you want pure, like, single origin, or, you want whatever it is, like you want your style. And there is a style of CrossFit for you. So just like when we first moved to this location, there was 2 other CrossFit gyms within a mile, more like half a mile. But we all serve different blends. We all serve different products. We all served a different, kind of purpose, and it works. I mean, that's what's great. So, but yeah, we spell it out for them. We say like, hey, this is kind of I sell it as it's a feature, not a bug, right? So it's not, like, because even, you're using very triggering language, Craig, because you're saying that I'm limiting them
Right.
when I'm telling them they have a space reserved for them specifically.
Yeah.
Like, so it makes them, and this is the big joke, right? It makes them special, right? Because like, hey, now you have a spot in class waiting for you. You have programming designed to work with what you did on Tuesday is going to work with what you're doing on Thursday and Saturday, and et cetera. So, so there's a system, there's a process, type of thing. So,
When you
and it's been able to work for a long time. We just had another woman. She celebrated 15 years
wow.
with the gym. So we've got a bunch that are over 15, over 16.
Is she more fit than when she started?
Yeah, she's definitely a lot stronger. She likes to brag. She did a DEXA scan, and she likes to say that like she's in her. Is she 60 yet? She's definitely over 55, and
Right.
she has like her bone density is like off the charts.
When you, so just thinking about your programming, when you, so when you program, you only write workouts for 3 days a week, I'm assuming. And so, for example, your Monday people do the same workout that your Tuesday people do, and your Wednesday workout's the same as your
No,
Thursday. No.
no, we change. No, I mean there might be like
So
what
how
do
do
we
you
do
get? How do you do?
on Tuesday?
Yeah.
We had a workout with rowing, right? So we had because our workout is our move of the we have a 4 week work cycle or strength cycle.
Yeah.
So we're doing overhead squats on Tuesdays for 4 weeks, right? But
That's
with
a
different var-
whole nother podcast right there. Overhead squats. Sorry.
that's a whole CrossFit competition podcast. Uh, so like, but we did a workout. So we call it SS Nancy, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you're rowing. It's rowing and overhead squats, just like Nancy. But um, so we did that. But then for logistics, because our rowers are stored in another room area, and it's just like why create more work for ourselves, because the people that are coming the next day, they're not doing the same workout, it's not the same people, so we leave the rowers out, and then I program rowing on Wednesday, and so they did something much different um, on Wednesday. Does that make
Interesting.
sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So they're not doing the same, it's not the same stuff, it's not, I mean, because there's a little bit of thought, there's a bit of thought that goes into like, hey, how can we maximize the impact on Tuesday and Thursday? And so then the folks that come on Saturday, yeah, they get like maybe some higher level gymnastics stuff that we're not going to cover Tuesday, Thursday.
In that extra day.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are writing, when you write programming for the week, you're writing 6 days of programming.
Yeah.
And there are 6 separate days of programming, and there may be some overlap in the movements or the desired stimulus. There may be some overlap between Monday and Tuesday, or Thursday and Friday, or
A
Thursday
little
and
bit, sure,
Wednesday.
because it's different people.
Different
If
people.
we put the rings out, so Monday does, let's say that Monday does dips on Monday,
Right.
and then on Tuesday they'll do ring rows.
Right. What I like about Tim's program, it is very similar to what people are doing with small group training, which is becoming quite the rage. And in a version, essentially, and that's not a dig, but what Tim is doing is almost middle, not small size, but middle size group training. And he's putting these people together so that, and when people show up to class, they're always going to be with the same people. And
Pretty much.
yeah. So does a community develop amongst those people?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so you get to know the people in class, and they get to know you, and then like I had another one on, when did she text me? On Tuesday or something like that, and she's like, she texted me a photo of her foot, and it has a boot on it, right, like an orthopedic boot type thing, because she sprained her ankle really bad, like at the park, right, like just one of those stupid things. And but it's like, okay, but I know exactly who she is. She's been with us for over 12 years, right? Like I've seen her get married, have kids, like it's great. So so there's a relationship there. And so then she feels comfortable like texting me. She knows she's gone through this, like with pregnancies, and seen plenty of people get injuries, generally outside the gym. And then because then she knows that she's going to get teased, that she needs to stay where it's safe, which is in the gym. People are way more likely to get injured out, playing soccer with their kid, or literally walking on a sidewalk with her child. So, but she feels, but she showed up today. She went through the workout. Everything's fine. And she's
That's
got a
great.
boot on and she gets a workout in and she'll heal faster. She's already super fit. So she'll, she did quarterfinals and stuff like that. So she's, in great shape and she'll heal up really quick.
When someone comes in and says, okay, I'd like to come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Do you put any thought toward that person, their personality, who they are, and then the group of people that are at 5 p.m.? Do you have to think about that? In other words, is this person going to be able to get along with those 5 o'clockers? You
No,
don't. Okay.
no. What is really funny though is that I've commented so many times over the years that, and people have asked me like, hey, which class do you think I would like fit in? Like which class would be good for
Yeah.
me? Or like
Right.
who are people like me or whatever? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I go, here's what I've learned over 17 years of doing this. Whatever class that you pick to show up at, you're going to find a bunch of people just like you. It's so funny, like how they work out, right? Like similar types of humor, all that kind of stuff. It's almost, you could probably do some sort of like psychology paper study on like,
social experiment.
right?
Like,
What type of people work out at 5 a.m. are not totally, but generally a bit different than 5 p.m.
yes.
And even, I mean, shoot, I'm a different coach. People tell me like at 5 p.m. I'm like, sometimes, maybe somebody has to do a makeup or whatever. Or like I got one guy, he has been with us. Gosh, Devin's been with us he's also well over 12 years, probably 14. And he is a 5 a.m. guy forever. And there was one day he came at like the noon class or in the evening. And he probably says in a year's time, he'll say 100 words in the 5 a.m. class. Like he's cruising through, like he's engaged. Hey, how you doing? He's like, yeah, good. But then like he came in, he was doing a makeup in the evening and he's like, hey, how's it going? Da, 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 da. And I'm like,
who are you?
I'm like, you look like Devin. I go, but you don't sound like Devin. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, now I'm like caffeinated and I've had food and I've been out in the world, like it's so crazy. So people are very different. And 5 a.m. I usually have to carry the class a lot more. Yep. 5 p.m. I might like poke the bear and let the class take over. But yeah, I mean, I just find that I don't really have to do much kind of like directing as far as like, it's more of like, what's going to work for you? Cause like my big thing is like our whole thing with the, some have viewed it and even like commented or made, Yelp reviews or whatever and said, we're restrictive or this and that. And I was like, no, we're trying to set you up for success, right? I'm like Jerry Maguire over here, right? I'm like, help me help you. Tell me what's a time of day that you can commit to. That's it. Like if you can't make a little bit of a commitment, I mean, like, come on. Now I had a guy, I mean, I also, maybe I've shared this before, but like, have I told you about the Miracle on 34th Street marketing? Have you?
No.
So you know that movie, right? Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes.
Okay. It's one of my dad's favorite movies. And my dad would say, there's this scene when some little kid is sitting on Santa's lap and he's like, I want X, Y, and Z toy, right? And he's like, you're going to get it on Christmas morning. And his mom afterwards, like, grabs him and she's like, hey, you can't do that because like I can't find that toy anywhere. It's sold out. And he says, okay, here's what you do. You go down to such and such toy store on the back row, on the bottom shelf in the corner, you'll find one. And that's where so you're going to be able to get that. And he gets in trouble by his boss for telling, somebody. He's like, don't tell people somewhere else to go. And she says, I will always come back to Macy's because he cares more about me getting what I want than, making a sale. And so that's what, like, today there was somebody that's like, they had come to an intro, like a trial class. They came from somewhere else and they're like, hey, I want to join the gym. I want to come Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. because I can't make it on Wednesday or something like that. And I said, and then they were like, well, and I travel a lot and I'm going to need all this kind of stuff. And I was like, hey, you know what? I was like, kind of like in Star Wars, right? Like these are not the droids you're looking for.
Right.
I'm very nice about it, but I'm like, this is not the gym you're looking for. Like, that's not what we do. Like we are not able to give you what you want. I recognize that. You know what? NC Fit, they're great. They're just down the street. I believe they have unlimited memberships, and you can go there and go as much as you want whenever you want. I was like, we just don't do that. Like, that's just you want a Volvo, and I sell Toyotas, like whatever. Like
what was his response?
Hey, I appreciate I appreciate it. I'll check them out.
That was it. You let a customer who wanted to come to your gym walk away.
I didn't let him walk away. I directed him to some place where he would get what he wants.
Yeah.
He's looking for something that I'm not able to provide.
Well,
I mean, you want to go down some relationship advice. I mean, there's something right there, right?
Well, no. But in my experience too, what I like about that story is, what that individual was telling you is for long term for Tim that he would likely be a very difficult member for you, your business, your community, right? Because he's gonna, if you gave him that leeway, that wouldn't be it. There would be other days he would travel, boom, and great, like you said, he's good for our style of gym or NC Fit, where he can come when he wants to classes. What's interesting though is you've created, in my opinion, based upon my experience with members, you've created your style of membership and participation in classes creates a mental obligation. You're overcoming one of the biggest obstacles that we have as gym owners, which is creating a healthy habit, the habit of coming to the gym. And the biggest challenge that we face, is the first 90 days. They said it's not even 90 days, probably the first 60 days is getting people to build. They say, oh, yep, this is awesome. I love this gym. They come to a couple classes. It's great. But then pretty soon their schedule takes over. They come home from work. They're tired. They don't want to come in. The alarm goes off and they don't want to get up. So they don't establish that habit, which takes, 4 to 6 weeks or maybe longer. And what you've already overcome that initial obstacle. You can only come during this time, which means instantly they have to write in their schedule on their calendar. This is my time I go to the gym. Much like my wife does, Yvonne does with her schedule and her training. Like she knows what time, what days she's training every day of the week.
Yeah, she writes it down, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah, she's more disciplined, way more disciplined than I am about it. But in that, I think that's kind of cool, because what you did, even though people would say, well, shit, how could you let that guy walk away? You might have converted him later. The reality is Tim probably saved himself a lot of time, heartache, and other bullshit that goes along with that. And now, and then when he tells someone else, he'll say, hey, go to CrossFit Palo Alto because you can, but you got to make sure it's this time on this day. Yeah,
maybe. Or it's just the right thing to do. Like the right thing is going to be like, Chris, what's his face? Two Brain, right? Yeah. And he's like, help first, right? Like help first. Like if you want to help, like the point is like, I want to help this person. How can I help them get what they want? What they want is not something that I am like set up to offer. So what's the next best way I can help them? Point them in the direction of something that is going to get them what they want. So that's kind of the way I look at it. But it's also, like you talk about like the habit stuff and just different kinds of things. And it is sometimes it's like, I do put a lot of thought into like how we frame it and talk about it. We don't we have an app and we publish the workout, 4 a.m., each day. And so then they can see, some people look, most people don't, because they want to know like what shoes to wear or what pants
Oh
to
yeah.
wear or,
Right.
whatever, whether they're going to want pants with a zipper in the back, for ab sit-ups or not, whatever. But, but I tell them, I was like, yeah, I was like, you're probably used to, stressing about, oh, I hope there's room in this class. Oh, I forgot to sign up or whatever. And I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't sign up.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's
our
right.
coach,
There's no advanced registration.
our coaches take attendance. So I know when you come and it gets that coach engaged with the people. So, everyone. I was
Right.
like, but you don't have to do that. Right. So then now it's a convenient thing. So now I've saved them stress and effort of like, oh man, is there room in the class? Is it, what's the workout going to be? It doesn't matter. Right. We've eliminated that. It's kind of like, it's a little bit of, forced efficiency or forced adaptation, right? Because like you're signing up for the program, you're signing up for the gym saying like, hey, I need this. I want accountability. I want all these things. And I stand there in front of you and go like, I got all that. Like, here you go. And sometimes they bite and sometimes they don't. But, if they do, then it's like, okay, great. Well, then same thing. What do we do with double unders? You start to learn singles. Okay, great. You start to do some double unders. Well, we don't just say like it's a zero sum game, double unders or not. It's like, oh, well, you can do some. Okay, so in the first minute, if you're doing 50, if you're get as many as you can in the first minute, let's say it's 27. 27 is your number. You're just going to start doing 27 every round because it gets them doing it, right? Like
I like
take the
that scale.
win, take
Yeah.
the win, right? Like, take the win. Like you don't need to like be all or nothing. Like just, hey, what's the small win? Like, oh, I'm not doing very much on the, that SS Nancy. You know how many
Yeah.
people we had doing PVC pipe overhead squats? Who cares? Right? Lots of them, or empty barbells, right? But I don't care. The point is you're getting overhead squats in a workout. You're doing a whole bunch of them. You're doing them well. Right. And then that's going to add up. And then eventually you'll get stronger and all that kind of stuff. Right. But it's like, let's get some momentum, right? Get some wins, right? Start stacking wins. And then you can worry about like, oh, I want to, be competitive or lift a certain number. That's kind of the approach. Right.
And so one of the things too that that brought up me thinking about this was, I don't know, it was one of my members went over to your gym or someone that dropped into your gym or something and talked about working out 5 days a week, I think it was one of your members said, you can do this 5 days a week, as if it would, just because of the, like, won't like that won't that the implied comment was, won't that beat you up? Won't you be too tired? How can you, why would you want to? It was almost like, why would you want to do this more than 3 times a week? Which I thought was a really unique perspective, and has me thinking now that, I'm 63, 64, I CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week, and it works for me. Like the
Yeah.
recovery, if I'm not as sore, I still make progress. And, I think Greg Glassman, with the original intention was, make sure you play other sports, right?
Yeah.
And is that something you talk about when people sign up? Like, hey, we also want you doing stuff outside the gym. Is that part, or is it
100%.
just part of your? Okay.
100%, like part of our introduction. So I tell, well, one, it's just getting to know people, but it's
Right.
saying like, hey, what do you like to do? Like, what do you like? Why are you here? What do you like to do? Do you like, swim, bike, triathlons, Spartan race, badminton, swimming, like whatever it is? I don't care. But it's usually better when they have something, mountain biking, road biking, whatever it is. Pickleball, a lot of people play pickleball. But I'm like, oh, fantastic. Right. I was like, we are here. Like I tell them, I was like, I'm not trying to make you a semi-professional athlete. Right. I'm not trying to make you a semi-professional exerciser. Right. Like, I don't care. Like, that is not why we're here. That's just not what we do. Like, are we a competitive gym? Sure. We compete and we go hard and we do the open, we do all the things, and we, have good standards, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't describe us as a competitor gym, right? Because again, like, yeah, if you're going to be competitive in CrossFit, then yeah, you got to do this all the time. But
Sure.
we have a program. Our product is general and inclusive fitness for anybody to be able to go and do what they want to do, right? Like that's really why we're here. We're here to make your life outside the gym better, not to make the gym your life. So it's a distinction, but that's the way we go about it. So yeah, so that's what we talk about. Like, we find out and then try to key in, definitely not like sales wise, but just to explain like, hey, the point is to like get better. Even we've got folks that are into dancing, right? And I'm like, okay, well now you're going to have better control, right? Midline stability, control of your spine and your hips, right? Like, oh, hey, we've got some better core strength, and so like you're able to function better, you're able to dance, you're able to, last longer on the dance floor or whatever it is that you're doing. And
Right.
some, like, you just got to spell it out for folks because they just don't know, right? They just know, like they've been told, I need to lift weights, I need to strength train, I need to whatever, and so they're coming to you, they're saying, and by doing that, I think I just approach it as like, you're coming to me as an expert and believing and hoping and trusting that I'm an expert and I know what I'm talking about. And so they're at least open to hearing it. Maybe they find out.
How many classes a day do you offer at CrossFit Palo Alto?
8.
8 classes a day.
Well, I guess, hang on. Sorry. 9 on Tuesday and Thursday, because we do have a Legends class with, right. That's like the kind of 70, basically 70 plus. It's listed as 65 plus. It's pretty much 70 plus. Although I've got a 75-year-old guy, my neighbor is a stud, and he's in regular class.
And so in those classes, what's your limit on number of people that you can accommodate in a class?
15.
15.
Yep. So if 15 people show up in the Bay Area all at once, it's amazing. Because everybody's got a work trip, a meeting, whatever. But yeah, which then,
yeah, go ahead.
If it's where you're going, is like, I know exactly what my gym capacity is, right? From a business perspective, I can say.
And as a business owner, as an affiliate owner, it's that gives you a sense of calm, because you know where you are, and you know where you can go to. Like, the
there's
start.
120 people on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
In regular class, if you add in I think it's 128. If you add in the Legends.
And so Tim basically, probably has it written down or on a whiteboard, something like, here's the classes and here's how many spaces I have in those classes.
Google Docs.
Yeah. And if you're really into, like, kind of getting after it and making sure your gym is full and achieving its true potential, he knows the number he has to shoot for. And every time he knocks one down, it's like, boom. And then when he loses one, the problem is here's the thing, is when he loses one, he texts his friend, Craig, and tells me, especially if it's like 2 or 3. If he loses 2 or 3, I hear about it. He's like, oh
my gosh, my kid's going to starve.
Yeah. But and that's why it's good to have relationships within the affiliate world, because the same thing. My wife and I feel the same thing. When we lose someone that's been here a while, or we lose someone that we feel like they should have stayed, they got some injury outside the gym, and I need to take time off. As a CrossFit affiliate, I don't know if this is other gyms outside, but and I've got, we're 400-ish members. It still hurts. Like, yeah. we feel it. We're deeply connected to the communities that we have, and I think that's one of the strengths of a CrossFit gym, is obviously the communities, but it's because we have owners and coaches that truly care. We're connected. We're not some big gym trying to put as many bodies in here, and we don't know who those bodies are.
Oh yeah.
You walk into my gym. You walk into my gym on the busiest day, Saturday. You walk into my gym Saturday morning. It's just packed. There's people in open gyms. There's people doing on a lifting platform. There's people in class. If someone walks in that is not a member, instantly we can pick them out and spot them who they are. So you know, it's what's that Dunbar number? You have a certain number of people you can know.
150.
Yeah, 150. But you spread that out amongst your coaches and and
Yeah.
your and your spouse, and like you got everybody covered in this gym.
Yeah.
And there's a deep personal relationship. But and I think I know our members feel it. I know I'm absolutely certain your members feel it as well. I can't even imagine how hard it is. If you've been a member at Tim's gym for more than a few, you know, probably more than a few years, you know, just I would get sick to my stomach going to you and telling you that I'm going to quit your gym, right? Because
We have folks. I mean,
you're
it's pretty.
messing
I
with
mean,
all the
it's so
you're messing
awesome.
with
We
all
have
the
folks.
members and everything else.
Oh, I mean, we feel so fortunate. I mean, we are so blessed. We have people that literally like, oh, hey, I've got to move out of my house. Like our landlord's raising the rent, or like they're selling the house, or whatever it is, or they're just moving, and they're like, oh, we wanted to stay. You know, like the location to the gym is important. You know, and I'm like, and they tell me, I'm like, man, and I'm just honored. I love it. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. You know, like I really appreciate that. You know, because they're like, I don't know what else I would do. Like like where would I go? And because, you know, and admittedly, I mean, people will say, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, what's the difference between you and whatever, right? Like, what's your kind of like competitive advantage? That I can't say. I was like, I don't know. I've never been in a gym around here except for yours, you know, but that's an hour away. I go with no traffic. I go, I was like, I have no idea. I tell them, go try it out. I go, but, you know, but these folks, like when they do leave, they go to another city or they move to Southern California or Florida or Texas or wherever everyone left California for. And they were like, you know, I can't find, this is when it's special, when they say, I just can't find another gym like ours. And they say ours, right? I'm not describing like, you know what I'm saying? Like those are their words. I can't find another gym like our gym.
Yeah, I've had
right?
that
But because they have that ownership, they feel like this is my gym, right? Like they've, you know, invested in it. And that's, to me, that's a source of, you know, pride and motivation to continue to, you know, just build the connection and just, you know, care about people. And I think they get, but they get it.
You know, one of the things we did recently, you know, there's a bunch of gyms that, you know, I follow on Instagram or elsewhere, and I see the stuff that they do on a regular basis for their members, you know, just tracking their performance. They've monthly committed clubs. I can't do that. Like that's a lot of work. but
I'm sure it's a report in your
I know it is. It's a report. I'm sure it is. But they're but the one we did that I thought was, because, like, you know, a lot of these gyms are given recognition for members that achieve 100 visits, you know, 500 visits, 1,000 visits, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to pull up a report and see what my numbers are. And sure enough, there's members there. I had one member that has over 4,000 visits, quite a few that have over 3,000, and that's over, you know, it's over probably, well, I think it's over more than 15 years that we really tracked it. Probably 17 years of our 20.
We've switched companies too many times. Like the visit stuff that didn't carry over.
Fortunately, I did download Excel spreadsheets every time we switched over with the total visits, so I've kept track of them. Thank goodness.
Nice.
I created this poster of all the people that have 1,000 visits, and then we made patches. Like, oh, we'll give them patches. Like, you know, I wasn't going to do a plaque and everything else. And some people do the, you know, bumper plate and everything this big. I'm like, good Lord, like that would take me forever. And it's not that I don't appreciate you members. If anybody of my members are listening, I mean, we love you. But we thought, you know what, patches are cool, you know, and sure enough, you know, members really enjoy their custom patches. But it wasn't until I saw the poster. I made this poster and I put it up in the gym of everybody's names of how many people we had that were at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then 4,000. It was kind of like it's like a pyramid. And I was like, wow, like and I know all the names. I can tell you, you know, a little bit about their family. I can tell you, you know, when they come, what time they come. And it's really cool. And as an affiliate owner, you kind of basically, I think about it, it's like building that stack of members that are going to be with you along. There's going to be members you're going to have that will be there as long as you are open. Yeah. And that's and ideally you get to a point where, like where Tim is now, and I am with the number of years we've been in the business, where that's our core group. that's basically keeping the lights on in this gym, right? I know at least, we're going to get all of our our payroll covered and all our basic bills covered because of that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 members that have been there, and then that will continue to come. And that's it's a really cool thing about being open a long time, is you can build that core base. And they, like Tim said, they can't even imagine going somewhere else. Like, they want to live, they're going to move, and they move close to the gym. We've had people say that they leave town, they go to the other side of the country, and they come back and move close to where Diablo is.
Yeah. We had, as you know, but I don't mind bragging a little bit. So my daughter, Natalie, is graduating high school, and she plays lacrosse, and she has gotten a partial scholarship to play lacrosse in Virginia at Radford University, and so she's going there. And then and we've known this for a year and a half since she committed, and then in January, through a sequence of events, my son Luke got to go to boarding school to play lacrosse in Virginia. So farther, was 4.5 hours away from Natalie. So same state, wide, very wide, 4.5 hours away. But so then he's in Virginia. So then people right away, and I could kind of read the room a little bit, and they're like, "So are you sticking around?" They're like, "Are you leaving? Like, what's going on with the gym?" And I was like, I was like, "Bro, I'm not going anywhere." I was like, "Somebody's got to pay for this," So, but yeah, I mean, you could tell, like, they're like, "Oh, that's great. Are you sticking around?" Like, are you going to be here? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going anywhere." It's too nice. The weather's too good.
Right. Well, that's the other part. Yeah, it's sunny and 74.
But it's just kind of one of those stories, right? Of like, yeah, people care, right? Like, they care about us too. Like, I mean, gosh, we could go into the COVID stories, right? About like being taken care of, by your members. So, yeah.
Juliet Starrett, who is the former founder and owner, with her husband Kelly Starrett, of CrossFit San Francisco. And they have their own company now, a separate company called Ready State, which is a fantastic mobility company and fitness organization. And they've written a couple of books, but she published a really cool piece today about what the 6 things that thriving people actually do. Nearly, and then this came out of a study about social connection. It was 2,000 Americans that were studied for 6 points of connection. 2026 report. And then what they found is that, more than half of U.S. adults score at the at-risk or vulnerable range for social connection. And only 17% of people that they interviewed were truly thriving. And there were 6 behaviors that they shared. And one of them was having a neighbor you can actually count on. Having a friend that you can call up. You're in any type of situation, you can call on that person. The second one, and this is the one that really stood out to me, was having a community where you belong. And my daughter has said this to me in the past, is like, especially for her age, she's 22 now, and she said, we don't have a third place like you had. And it was when I was growing up, I was going to the malls, or I was going to I was going to the mall or to the schools and hanging on.
Were you shopping at Structure, Craig?
No, dude, we'd go to arcades. The arcades was where we loved to go. Oh yeah,
you hit that skee ball at the putt golfing games.
Yep. Oh man, it was great. But anyway, yeah, community we belong. And that is, and you're right. Through the pandemic, CrossFit was that place. And then when you suffer together and do a workout together where you're suffering, there's an extra special bond, and it kind of it takes down those fronts, those barriers that we normally put up for people, that kind of pushes people away, or our natural protection mode that we go into to kind of like, we don't want people to we don't want to be too vulnerable. But you do a good hard CrossFit workout, and and one, you don't look very pretty at the end of it, and two, you don't care how you look, and then
Yeah.
and then you are vulnerable, and then and that leads to amazing connections, in my opinion, where um, which last, it obviously last a lifetime. For I have members that's like, they're lifetime friends. Some of my old members, from 15 years ago, I see them on social media posts with other Diablo members. And then, number I'll finish the six. One was a person you see regularly, someone just getting together that you get together with and you see regularly. The other is a third place, a coffee shop, a gym, a church, a library.
Most of those are all covered by a gym right there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Well,
right.
or CrossFit gym.
Yeah. And then a group, and then number five is a group that does something together, a community of play. I mean, all of these are like CrossFit, CrossFit, CrossFit. And then the sixth one was giving back to your community, volunteering or regularly showing up for others, neighbor, school, or cause. And that's, and we offer that as well, right? Through, memorial workouts, through charity workouts, through other things that we do.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. And so when people come and they connect, and they will stay as long as you get them that connection. Tim gets that connection by putting them in a group of people at a specific time of day.
Well, you kind of one of the things that you talked about, like even some of that, and I think this will go into, obviously we've talked about starting our own, or sort of just even doing this and throwing it out there like, hey, ask us questions and we'll tell you what, to OG, and we won't even charge you for it. Send us your questions. But so in my weekly email, I put out, you saw the link to the videos, right? Like
Yes.
from the qualifier, from the semifinals. And I don't do it like very often. And I don't post like I used to, like, oh, hey, here's me doing this workout. So no one sees that. But then, so I put them out there, and I mean, literally, it's crazy the number of people that have said, I watched every video. And I'm like, it's 5 videos, right? I'm like, it's just me working out most of the time without music, and they're like, it was awesome, and, like she says, I'm absolutely awed by your effort. It is so inspiring to see you do the workouts, managing a rhythm and pace that gets you to the end. As an observer, the one with the burpee box jump overs looked the toughest, but maybe you felt differently. But, she's like, but she says she relates because she's like, oh, Tim's just like me. Right. Like, cause I'll tell people, I'm like, yeah, this is hard. Like it's even more hard the longer you do it, because what's coming, but it's like, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But where I was going is like victory. There's a great psychology, like sports psychology guy, and he talks about victory goes to the vulnerable. If you're not prepared to put yourself out there, if you're not going to lead from the front, right? Like, I don't need to be first. I don't need to be the fastest. I don't need to be the strongest. I don't need that personally. Like, I'll strive for it. I'll try to be, because I want to like give a good example. I want to show how to do workouts or whatever. But, like that's what, I mean, people recognize that, right? That's like that. Just those innate things that they can pick up on. Put yourself out there. Like you judge me for 3 of those 5 workouts. I'm dying. Like it's everything I got.
As affiliate owners, this is it can be overwhelming being at your gym all day, especially if you're coaching and everything else, to want to work out. And there's a lot of affiliate. There's probably a fairly large number of affiliators that aren't training as much as they want to. And I would highly encourage them. That's like one of those minimum standards. Hold yourself accountable to training on a regular basis, because what Tim just pointed out, your members are watching you and they want you to live the lifestyle that you're encouraging them to do. We do have a question though. Tim, that's Chris Zupan. Do you run scheduled spots on the weekend like you do in the week too?
Yeah, we have, I mean, it's just, so everyone, imagine we have those 8 classes for regular, attendees, memberships. And then of those on Tuesday and Thursday, they funnel into 2 classes on Saturday. So most people that are on Tuesday and Thursday that's it. Like they need their weekends and want their weekend, whatever. So, but we have 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then everybody just funnels into those two. And there's,
What
the
what do you
9
do
a.m. I
on
think might be full, but there's room in 10.
what do you do for workouts like Murph? And where you want to include the whole gym?
Yeah, we do like, so coming up on Monday, Memorial Day,
Yeah.
9 a.m. show up and we're going to do it all together. So we'll have talked to, put it out there. We've talked about it, especially this coming week. We'll have even more info on like, hey, we're going to do Murph at 9. So show up, get there a little early. Hopefully you've talked with one of your coaches, like you have a game plan. The first time you do it, we tell you to do a Smurf, which is scaled Murph. And we'll give you the prescription of like, hey, you're going to run the half mile, run 2 400s, come in, do 10 rounds, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, run another half mile. You'll be done in 30 to 35 minutes. And then you'll, cheer everybody else on as they finish, because we want everybody done under an hour. So scale appropriately. And then we'll take a big photo at the end. So that's how we do it. Same thing. We do Murph twice a year. We do it on Memorial Day. We do it New Year's Day. It's New Year's Day was like, gosh, it was our first year. So it's 2010, New Year's Day. And I was like, you know what? We should start the year like with something hard. Because if you start the year with something hard, then it's only going to get better, right? Or it just kind of sets a benchmark, sets the tone. And it was me, my wife, and our first 2 members, Nick and Seth. And yeah, and we just did it. I have no idea. Like we wrote it up on the board, but I can't find the photo. Like I've always looked for it, but yeah. And then we've done it ever since. So, but same thing. We just kind of like, and it's chaos. You're sharing the bar.
Yep.
We are blessed. We have a lot of space. Like we have, 3 rooms, kind of like we use the main room, and then there's a middle room, and then there's even like some shorter bars that work out. But so yeah, we just run everybody all at once.
That's fantastic. That's how we do it too. And
it's usually like around 50. I mean, usually it's kind of in that neighborhood of like, out of our 200 members, like 50 people, show up on Memorial Day or New Year's Day.
Yeah, same thing for us. It's chaos from 6 a.m. until I think our first class. I think we'd start running our first heat at 6 a.m. until 12 noon, and it's fun. And we overlap. People go, well, what if you do? What if people go over an hour? And which we encourage them. Like if you're going to do Murph, take your time. Don't beat yourself up trying to get it done in an hour. And we'll run on one half of the gym, and then the other group will come in and get warmed up, and then they'll start. And so there's always like from 6 a.m. until almost 12 noon, there's people in there doing Murph. It's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah. Fun. And again, I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, I love it that's what works for you guys. I think it's fantastic. I love that. I mean, I love your guys' like Thanksgiving thing, like what you guys do.
Oh, yeah, the turkey trot. Yeah.
We just don't like, that's always just been my 1 week that we just take off. Like that's, if I'm going to go visit my family, like I'm going to go to North Carolina, or we go to, lacrosse tournament in Baltimore or whatever it is. It's like, that's just our 1 week. The one time that we were here during Thanksgiving was COVID 2020. And we did what I always wanted to do, which we have a workout called the CFPA 5K. Somebody can steal it. You can have it. You don't have to call it the CFPA 5K, but it sounds good. 5 rounds, row 500, run 500. And we had all of our 15 rowers, and then everybody that had rowers at home brought them into the parking lot, and we had this big, huge, giant horseshoe, and we ran like 2 or 3 heats of the CFPA 5K on, instead of doing a turkey trot, we did, because there weren't any, on Thanksgiving Day of 2020. So, but other than that, like that's what I think is great. It's like every gym gets to do what they want.
Every gym should do something like this a couple of times a year, because it does create like, one of the CrossFit did a great post, and we reshared it. We took the text that they had and reshared it today about Murph. And each slide had just really nice statement about the importance of hero workouts and why we do them. They're dedicated to those service men and women that gave their lives in service to the country and were CrossFitters. But there's one line that stood out: athletes don't just complete them, they endure them, often alongside an affiliate community, moving together with a shared purpose. And when you do that as an affiliate owner, you create an incredible memory and experience that people will carry with them for a long time. And I can't remember all my MRFs, but I can remember a few of them where I just, it was, I did not, where I wanted to quit. But that, enduring that and with those people was just, it's a really special feeling, and it leads to a relationship with CrossFit and a relationship with your gym that I think supersedes everything else. So a couple times a year. Yeah, that's cool.
What else you got?
I think that's really it. So we covered about everything. And how many, let me ask you this. How many spaces do you have available at CrossFit Palo Alto right now? Class spaces, would you say you have available?
I would say I'd have to look. Well, those are there. So let's say 16, 21, 25, 32, 30, 34.
So Tim has room for 34 more people. And I would say if you're in that area, you're in Palo Alto, you're on the peninsula, go visit him. Philip, take one of those spots. It'll be something that will obviously change your life. But I think that's, as an affiliate owner, that's a really cool thing to know. It's like one of the things I'm envious about is those are the spaces, and it could come to the point. I think over the next 10 years, affiliates are going to be facing an onslaught of people that are coming as people are entirely focused on longevity, health, and they know and understand that strength training and training with intensity.
They're already saying it when they come in.
They are.
They're already saying, like, I need to be stronger. Like, I need,
need to improve my blood markers, or pre-diabetic. I'm getting people say that, like, and that I think is gonna bode well for all of us. And Tim's gonna get to the point where he has a waiting list to join his gym, and I'm hopeful that at some point in time we get to that too.
Well, then we have room to add classes, so we could do that too. Yeah. I just need people to do it. So coaches, if you want to, be a coach, I'll teach you.
Yeah, you will. Well, listen, thanks, Tim. It was a good discussion. I think it helps affiliates. That's what we're here for, and it was kind of informative for our community as well. I think people just assume that, well, all gyms are kind of like Diablo and how you run. My members would assume, wherever I go, it's going to be kind of like Diablo in terms of how they operate. And the reality is that a lot of affiliates run a lot differently. And yours is a really cool model.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, and you forgot there's no open gym either. So
no open gym.
I just had to fill out my annual insurance audit. Yeah. Right. Like that affects my insurance rates. Yeah, like I had to explain to her multiple times. She's like, are they bringing their own equipment? I'm like, no, there is nothing that's unsupervised. There's never a time when somebody's just doing whatever they want. Yeah. So maybe it keeps my rates down.
It does.
Probably. It does.
So. Okay, cool. All right.
Cool. Well, thanks, buddy.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. I appreciate it.